Alright, hey guys, I'm TCG back in the video. So with this video, I'm going to be bringing a ban list reaction. So the ban list has just been released. The biggest problem with the ban list is that, Konami never lets us know when it's going to come out. And I'm going to be going in a little bit, guys. So I'm just going to have to use these visuals provided by Duel Daddy, which shout out to him for doing this. Just makes it really nice to look at. And yeah, let's just get started here. So it's going to be 3 at a time. So we're going to see banned is Fairy Tail Snow, Ronin Totem, and Christian Hockey Fibrax. So just to go over them a bit briefly. Fairy Tail Snow, we kind of knew that eventually it was going to get banned again. This card was just able to provide so much utility by using dead cards in your grave. So seeing it banned again isn't too surprising, but I know it's going to suck for a lot of people. Ronin Totem is a bit surprising. Obviously, like, people were just able to utilize this card multiple times, and just being able to bring itself back and go into an Exceed monster is just a real useful card that gets so much value. So I can see why this one was banned, but also I didn't want it to be banned. Christian Hockey Fibrax, we already kind of knew this card was eventually going to be banned. I mean, they kind of went around it by banning Auroradon, but Christian Hockey Fibrax has always been a problem card on its own right, and this definitely needed to be banned. It was just too generic, and gave so much utility and so much stupid combos that also kind of made the game a lot really boring, just because I remember a lot of people were using combos just using Hulk. And it wasn't that interesting to look at. So let's continue here. So we have Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. So I know a lot of decks run this. I know it's a big thing in Dragon Link too, but I guess there's a way to just utilize this card even more so that I proctored it to get banned. That really sucks to see here, especially because it was reprinted kind of recently and made it affordable. And yeah, this just sucks to see a card like that get hit, but definitely was strong enough to deserve it. Red Reboot. So this card, it was limited, but just being able to stop your opponent from using a trap card for a turn is basically good enough where you don't really, you don't have to pay any life points, and just being able to stop it for a turn is good enough anyways. Just because, for Yu-Gi-Oh, there's not that many turns that pass by. So it's a great thing just being able to stop it for at least one turn. They probably won't be able to use it in the same fashion, and you also know that it's coming. So I could see why it's banned. It was just a pretty strong card. So that's it for the forbidden list. I'm surprised or the ban list, but the ban section of the ban list. But I'm just surprised to see that Mystic Wine wasn't banned. So I guess we'll see if it was limited or semi-limited. Really weird to see how Konami treats Mystic Mine with like this. They treat it like if it's in a different class on its own that's immune from bans. And then here we have Blackwing. So this is for the limited. So Blackwing Steam the Clothes, Cyberjar, and Mecha Phantom Beast Lion. So Mecha Phantom Beast Lion is interesting to see here. I know there's just ways to utilize this card in a few different decks. And yeah, I guess seeing it limited here is a little bit shocking. Cyberjar, this card is just a classic card, and it's interesting that Konami decided to unban this card. I'm obviously I think it's a little bit too slow of a setup in order for most people to utilize it, but when it really happens, it can be pretty impactful. But I guess we'll see how it's gonna go, and if people are gonna be able to use it anyways. I guess, yeah, we just have to see how people are gonna play with that. Blackwing Steam the Cloak. This card, it just made it really easy to continue your plays. Because once it left the field, it was able to switch summon the token, and you were just able to use that token to continue your plays. And yeah, seeing it brought back though is very interesting. So that's kind of a curious thing to see there. Substitute. So Substitute, they got rid of one frog and then they brought back another. So this is pretty cool to see, I guess. It's not going to serve the same role as Ronin Totem, but I think it is going to help the frog deck out. And it's just going to be really strong in that respect. It is a level 1, so it does mean that you're not going to be able to use it for like the Sprite. But it's still a really good card just for frog users. And then Spellbook of Judgment. So Spellbook of Judgment, this card was banned, and seeing it limited, it's going to help out Spellbook a lot. This card was essentially able to refill your hand from like all the spell cards you used during that turn. It was a really strong card, and yeah, I know this is going to be really powerful to see, and it's going to help out the deck a lot. Then we have a Pointer of the Red Lotus. So this card was just able to target a problem card in your opponent's hand. So seeing it limited means that, you know, it's gonna be less often to see this card, just because you were able to just activate this card and then target anything in their hand that you don't want to see. And that you can just use this if you go first and set this. You can just pick out one of their starter cards and then they're kind of screwed from there. And then here for the unlimited, we have Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter. So Dynamite Knight, the True Draco Fighter. You know, I don't think this archetype, the whole like Dynamite Draco Slayer thing, I don't think it's gonna be that powerful anymore. So I could see this, or like even the True King or True Draco, like isn't that strong. So I can see this being at 3 copies is fine. Cyber Angel Ben 10. So this card was hit once, and you know, this was it's kind of interesting to see it back at 3. I think they kind of realized that it didn't really do much. Most people were just kind of running 1 copy anyways, so that was fine. Shooting Riser Dragon, that's kind of the same problem as before. They Shooting Riser Dragon, people were only running 1 copy of this card anyways, so I don't know why they limited it. Obviously nothing was going to happen. They either needed to ban it or not do anything, because that was the only way to really go about it. And then now that it's not super impactful, they decided to just unlimited it, which I think it's fine. And then Fusion Destiny is at 3 copies now. That makes sense, just because Verdant Anaconda was the main reason it was able to utilize it. And I guess having this though means that people that are just gonna like want to hard draw into it, it's a bit more consistent. But you know, we also don't have that Destiny Hero that helps you draw extra cards. So it's just it's fine to see. You know, DP is still more manageable and less common. So I think that's okay. And then I accidentally clicked on something, so then we're gonna go here. Let me zoom out a bit. And then here we have Nadir Servant. So Nadir Servant, yeah, I guess interesting to see this back. Just being able to use this to search out a Dogmatic Monster or Fallen Albaz from your deck to your hand. You know, this was just a great search for the deck. I know this was a great way to just, it was part of the whole like Dogmatica punishment engine. And yeah, seeing it 3 copies means that it's going to be a lot more consistent. And then we have here the Trickstar Light Stage. So Trickstar Light Stage, for Trickstar users, it's going to help their deck out a lot. Just being able to add a Trickstar monster from your deck to your hand upon activation. That's really good for a field spell, and seeing a consistency with that is going to help it a lot. And then Wall of Revealing Light, they just decided to put this here just because it wasn't impactful enough for them to keep it under its restrictions. And so I think this is fine, just because you can get ways to destroy it without you know, like back then it would be a lot more difficult to attack your opponent, but basically you're just going to be wasting life points to set this shield up, and it's easily destructible. So I just think it's interesting that they didn't hit Mystic Mine at all. I don't know why they're kind of avoiding hitting it. But let me know what you guys think of the ban list. Did you guys like it? And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.